The best of money matters. Right Business.
Welcome to The Right Business, where we dive deep into the stories of trailblazers who dare to disrupt the status quo, find the gap in the market to find the right business. Hello, I'm Hongbin Jeong. You don't often hear a startup founder say that failure was the best part of the journey, but for our next guest, that's where it all began. While still a student at SMU, Fathurrahman Faizal co-founded SolanaFM, a blockchain explorer that went through many hurdles before being acquired by Jupiter Exchange in 2024. Now, he is behind Ranger Labs, a decentralized trading platform built on the Solana blockchain. It's designed to let users trade across multiple assets with the speed and feel of a centralized exchange, but without giving up control. Backed by a $1.9 million round led by RockawayX, Ranger Labs is going beyond just swapping tokens. So to find out more, we have Fathurrahman Faizal, who is the co-founder of Ranger Labs, here in the studio. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hey, great to be here. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much for joining us. Well, you're currently building Ranger Labs, which is a decentralized trading platform built on Solana. What was that aha moment behind Ranger Labs? I mean, what gap in the DeFi space did you see that others weren't really addressing it?
Yeah, so in the DeFi space itself, there's a lot of avenues that allow you to trade. So back then, I was trading on multiple venues at the same point of time. Mm-hmm. So you have multiple tabs at the same browser. So the reason you have that is because you want the best possible price, the lowest fees for your trades that you want to place on. So the biggest gap there was, we wanted to just centralize everything on one single platform. That's the moment that caught my eye and said, hey, I should build something here. Because it not only solves my problem, but a lot of people face the same issues as well.
But I mean, there are plenty of trading platforms out there. So what made you believe there was room for something new?
Yeah, so we decided to focus on this thing called futures or perpetuals, which was not built yet by many people. There were a few, but there were some things lacking in the area. So we knew and we identified the certain areas that we had the skills to build, which is looking into funding rates, looking into specific fees and slippage for these single platforms, and we built a proprietary engine that allows us to route to different platforms at the same time as well. So that itself was something that wasn't built, and that's what we built.
So it looks like you've been building in the crypto space since your university days, which is very impressive. But what first sparked your interest in Web3, and when did it shift from curiosity to something you knew you wanted to build a company around?
Yeah, so it started way before university, actually. It was during the National Service Days.
Oh.
So at that point of time, I was just looking into the markets, looking into Forex, and then bumped into crypto when there was this thing called Ethereum. So then I built a few bots where it allowed me to look into different funding rates, and because of that, you can actually earn a little bit of capital. That at that point of time, a little bit was a lot for an NS man. So dabble into the technology of it, dabble into the currencies as well. So from currencies, it grew onto me, and then I decided, hey, I should build something on another blockchain. So after Ethereum, I discovered Solana when it was called Loom, and when that happened, that's where I met my first co-founder in university. So he was also trading Solana at that point of time. We talked about it, we spoke, and there was a hackathon up and coming in the next few months. So we decided to take part in the hackathon. We won the hackathon, and that's when SolanaFM was actually born. So from then on, we continued the business, and that's where, it got me here.
Wow. So your crypto interests all, you went through that whole crypto winter as well, huh?
100%, yes.
And you still stuck by cryptocurrencies. Wow. All right. Well, SolanaFM, which you co-founded while still in school, as you mentioned, ended up being acquired by Jupiter Exchange. So looking back, how did that experience prepare you for what you're building now with Ranger Labs?
Yeah, so I like to call SolanaFM my most expensive education because at that point of time, I think we raised about 6.3 million.
Oh, wow.
So it was a hot market. Raising was slightly easier than what it is now. So, and it was my very first startup, my first baby as well. So we tried a lot of things, we experimented a lot of things, but there's two main takeaways which I still hold dearly to my heart. So firstly is actually caring more about the users rather than what investors actually want. So rather than speculating and building for hype, you actually just need to sit down and focus on what your users actually want. So be it features, be it expansions. So that's something that I still hold closely when I build Ranger Finance as well. So we really just care about what the users want and prioritize users over anything else. Secondly was hiring as well. I think it was the first time hiring as well, as a manager, as a founder. And a mistake I did back then was that I overhired and hired too fast. So I think at max we were at about like 35 people at that point of time for such a small startup. And what I realized is that you don't need so many people. You just need the right capable people to scale the company and to build what is required. So right now Ranger Labs is about 12, 13 people only. And we choose to not go beyond 15 for the next year.
Right. Sometimes quality is better than quantity,
yes.
right? Well, you're building on Solana again with Ranger Labs. So why do you think Solana enables that, made it the right foundation for both of your startups?
Yeah, so when we dig into like the infrastructure of both Solana and other possible chains back then, and even till now, we identified that Solana had the best scalability in terms of technology as well as adaptability as well. So in the end, the way we look at it is that you're building on top of a base layer. And the base layer always has to be very strong, because if it's not strong, it's very hard to scale forward. So what we identify is that Solana has very fast transaction speeds and also very low cost, which allows different companies to build many different applications on top of the platform itself. So back then it was a blockchain explorer where you had to index and you had to pull out a lot of data at the point of time. That allowed us to build SolanaFM. Right now as well, when you're building on trading applications, what users care about is how fast can the trade go through, how cheap are the trades, and that's what Solana has been focusing on and will always focus on to allow applications to scale on top of it. So that's why we picked it.
And it looks like Ranger Labs is incorporating AI into its platform as well. What kinds of problems, though, do you think AI can realistically solve in Web3 right now? And what's hype versus what's useful?
Yeah, so AI is a very broad term in not just in crypto, but also in general. I feel that AI itself helps solve things as long as you find a use case to use AI internally within the team first, and then slowly you will try to push it out towards your users. One example I can give is that there's a lot of different ways where you can trade or look into the best possible opportunities to actually make money and be profitable. So what AI actually helps you do is that it helps you with the middle process to help filter out like what's good, what's bad, the potential profits, as well as the best routes. Because what we do is the same thing as like Skyscanner as well, where you book a flight, right? You have to find the best possible price, the shortest legs. That's the same thing we do as well. And incorporating AI into that helps accelerate that speed. It helps users save more money as well.
Very interesting. Well, with regulations still evolving in Web3 as well, where do you see the biggest opportunities and the biggest risk for platforms like Ranger Labs in the next few years?
Yeah, so I think regulations is always a good thing for this industry, because when regulations come in, it means that the governments are taking things more seriously. So recently, we've been identifying and working closely with regulators across the whole globe, be it in UAE, be it in US, be it in Singapore. So I think there's a fair balance between innovation as well as regulations. So if you have to comply to both and not give one over the other. So for example, there's different structures between the UAE that you can do, but you can't do in Singapore as well. So what we do is that certain different markets, certain different products we offer towards the UAE, but we don't offer it to Singapore as well. So it really depends on the type of markets which you want to expand, and through that, just work with the regulators to see what you can push out towards the different regions.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, since you started, both your startups while you were in university, and I'm sure some of our listeners who are university students would want to know some insights into how they can start a company while they're still in university. What role did the Business Innovations Generator play in helping you go from idea to company?
Yeah, so BIG itself, the incubator in SMU, they helped us through the SolanaFM days. So it was pretty funny as well, because during COVID, it happened during COVID, so we had to pitch, online, which was very different when you're used to pitching like in real life, in person, yeah. But what they helped the most was that they were very strong in distribution locally, which helped us a lot in acquiring talent towards the company itself. So that's one of the benefits which they gave to us. But other than that, the mentors were actually pretty helpful in terms of letting us know that, hey, you know, once you raise, you really just got to focus on building the product and focusing on your users, which again is still a learning lesson for me, which I still keep with me right now.
Right. Well, BIG's approach is equity free and community driven. How did that environment help you take risks early on, you know, without the pressure of having to get it right the first time?
Yeah, so I think for BIG itself, it really depends on, you know, who are the ones helping you. So internally within BIG, they are startup mentors. They previously work in different startups and help many different positions across different areas. So they've been helpful in terms of bringing in context from other areas and helping us connect with the right people in different expertise as well. So they do press you, but that's a good thing because I think a lot of startup founders, they work well under pressure. And every month they always do a monthly update and check on you, which is good because you have to answer them. You always have to be on the ball. But most importantly, it helps you get towards your goal and make sure you're on track towards the goal itself.
Well, so then from your experience, what do you think makes a good incubator? What should more university be doing to support students who want to start real businesses?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty complex question. But I think in general, I haven't seen, you know, the ones in NTU or NUS, right? Only SMU. But in general, if a student is committed towards, you know, building a startup, which my founders and I were, we rarely had time to focus on school as well. So a lot of time was shifted from school towards the startup itself. And having mentors who helped us just before the exams, helping us, you know, get to the professors to let them know about like our situations, as well as giving us extra time for deadlines and stuff. It really helped us a lot, like, because it compounds over time as well, like over the next 3 to 4 years. So the support that they gave while building a startup in school, that's definitely one of the biggest helps that they gave to us. Secondly as well, I think you just have to do it. Like as a student, right, there's a lot of pressure on you. Yes, you know, what if this startup fails? What if I can't find a job? But hey, I think in your 20s, just take risks. You know, do what's best, what you think is best for yourself. And it's not really about the failures, it's more towards, you know, the learning lessons you've gathered along the way, which helped you shape to be a better person.
Right. Well, you've come a very long way because you've also been named in the Forbes 30 Under 30 Asia 2025 Under Finance and Venture Capital. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But what was some of the early stumbles or lessons that helped shape how you work today?
I think one key lesson which I still am learning today as well is really communications internally within the team itself. Because in the end, in this generation itself, like if you've seen like big tech, like a lot of people care about the working culture within a company, which is very, very important. And that was a misslip in the first startup, which I didn't really take a look into. But what I realized is that, hey, as a startup, everyone is technically on the same level because the reason why they're with you is because they believe in the mission as well. So I like to put it in a flat structure where if there's anything wrong, you can just go to anyone, and comms is the most important thing within such a small team. It's basically like a family, right? Mother, father, like siblings as well. You just have to talk to each other, and that's what we've enforced as we've learned along the way, where if you have any issues or you need some help with something, you can ask anyone, and you should also be the one asking whether anyone needs help as well.
Right. But I mean, you've, skipped the whole traditional route of someone's career path. You've jumped straight into the founder path early, skipping what many might call the safe path, right? So what's driving more Gen Z founders to build startups straight out of school, you think?
I think there's a lot of, in Singapore itself, especially in SMU, the appetite for risk has increased for these Gen Z individuals. But it also comes from the fact that they want to build their own stuff and be the engine rather than helping someone build another engine. So they want their own brand to it. They want to make a name for themselves, which I think is driven by a lot of things. One of it being, we technically are kind of safe in Singapore. It's a developed society. So we're more encouraged to do this type of ventures because not only does the school support it, the government is also supporting it in terms of grants, in terms of, if the recent policies as well. So I think the risk to appetite is the biggest factor that caused a lot of shift towards, hey, should I take the safe way or can I just not take the safe way and build my own thing? And even if I fail, I'm definitely sure I can go back to the other route.
Right, definitely. Well, I mean, you recently raised $1.9 million for Ranger Labs. Congratulations once again. So what's next on the roadmap? What are you most excited about building over the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, so 1.9 mil was raised about last year. So I think we just completed a round. It was multiple rounds this year as well. So I think altogether, we probably raised about 5 as well. So as a startup, you're always raising. And that's one of the best advice I've gotten as well. Don't ever say no to investors meeting because you never know what it may lead to. So one is that we're always raising, probably a bigger round towards the end of the year as well. Secondly is global expansions. So we've been, again, working with regulators and understanding the different demographics across the world, especially in terms of, the crypto appetite within specific regions. So we've slowly expanded into South Korea recently and as well as Vietnam. So now we're looking into Latin America as well as America as well.
Amazing. Well, looking forward to it. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. That was Fathurrahman Faizal, who is the co-founder of Ranger Labs. This has been The Right Business with me, Hongbin Jeong.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download